So I just want to share with you this idea that I worked on with Fionnuala today during her golf swing, which might help you if you're losing drivers off to the right, that kind of idea, which is something that does plague her. So first point of call that we start out always with Fionnuala is strike. So if she strikes them to the right, we try and fix. If she's hitting them to the right, we ignore them unless there's a big pattern of them, and we'll fix that instead. So strike out the middle, going to the right, that's what we're trying to beat. Now if you look at the two swings, you've got one where the club goes behind her and up early compared to the second one where the club still goes behind her. I'd like to see that a little bit more out in front of her, which is something we'll talk about with her, but it doesn't go up as early. Now for Fionnuala, if we can get her making a pullback from the ball where she doesn't introduce such a big angle, which I'll show you outside in a second, then she tends to have a better result with delivering club face. She doesn't fight the club face pointing so far right of her target as she strikes the ball so much, and then in turn so far right of her path, which is generally quite straight. So controlling the way she takes the club back and controlling the angle she puts in as she takes it back allows her then to control the angle of the face down at impact. Let's show you what I mean. So I'm going to use my little magnetic stick to show you a few angles. So if you think about Fionnuala's setup, if she makes a backswing where she puts a lot of this angle in, so that's me hinging the club back and a little bit up, if I was to just try and hit the ball from here and rotate my body, you're going to see that I'm delivering the handle way forward of the head, and the head is pointing to handle forward off to the right. And this is the shot she struggles with. She struggles to get that angle out down at the bottom. So what we find ourselves doing a lot of is we use a lot of this angle, so around the angle of the shaft turning this way, to try and compensate for that. And that has its place because it allows her to understand how to get the face close to a path and get it curving back, but she uses loft. So if you turn the club around this axis of the shaft, so using those wrist angles, she's losing loft, so we get some lower shots and then we get some overturns as well as the blocks, and now we're missing both ways. So today, not only do we keep thinking about this rotation, so as she goes back, flattening wrist angles and feeling what that is doing to the face, we also thought about trying to just take a few of the angles out in her backswing, so she's not so early to set, that you can see from the second swing. So even though it does tend to get behind her a little bit early, that's not coming from her whipping it back with her wrist. That's a different reasons, which we'll come to in another video, and we'll work on that. So getting her to take the club back that to her feels more connected, more together, rather than a straight wrist movement, was allowing her to control this club face in a much stronger way. So basically she's going there as she moves back. Look what happens to the face, it instantly starts to point. So as I push the handle forwards, look, points the stick off to the right, where we got her taking it back more together, and that face is maintaining itself not at the target because it's always rotating, but longer down her target line, giving her more efforts now to be able to control the ball with this axis only. For any of you losing shots off to the right, there's two ways, there's many ways, but the club face pointing off to the right when you hit the ball, you could be losing control by turning it around the axis of the shaft this way. That points it to the right but also adds loft. You could quite easily, and this is common for lots of golfers, not be managing these angles that you put in your golf swing. So obviously things are going to set, angles are going to be put in and that need to come out, but if those angles are early and excessive and you don't have time to recover them, then you might hit some right, hit some straight. If you miss hit them a bit left, you're going to get that big variation. Next time you're practicing with your driver, simple little drill to try and bleed onto your next shot. Good old fashioned split hand drill. Take that backswing, those first stages of that backswing, feel like those hands are working together. As soon as my wrists go early, I feel those two hands crossing. So right hand pulling the club back, left hand going out. So this way, let's get them back moving together. Often when your hands are together, people just can't make that feeling. They can't picture it or feel it in their mind or their body. So split hand drill, feeling those two hands going together, you'll really feel if they do start to work against each other. Move the hand up, straight in, bang, hit your shot. We can get Fionnuala lining things up more as she hits the ball. Then she can use this axis to control loft, control distance, but also control shape.